Hello everyone and welcome back to the B&D Bricks channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review of the LEGO Star Wars set 75311 Imperial Armored Marauder set. This set came with 478 pieces and retails for $40 at lego.com, but you could have gotten it for I think $32 at Walmart and some other stores. This set came with 4 minifigures. I believe it's still retailing now. So it comes with 4 minifigures. 2 Stormtroopers, an Artillery Stormtrooper, and Grief Cargo, which are very nice minifigures. We'll get into that later. This is the box, so you can see the Imperial Armored Marauder in all its glory on the front. Spinning turret, a whole bunch of features we'll get into later. And then on the back, you can see it open with some more play features being shown, along with the minifigures and just, yeah. So that's the box art for this. Normally I don't do box art. I'll probably try to do that from now on, but, I mean, let me know if you want me to. So anyway, moving on to the actual build itself, you can see I've got it built here. I've actually had this one built for a while. It's been on my shelf down here with my Plo Koon Starfighter. You can see where there's an empty space now. But I've had it there for a while, and I wanted to do a review of it. So here's my review of it. As always, we will be starting off with the minifigures category, and we will be going with the 5 categories, 2 points for each out of 10. So starting off the minifigures category, we've got Grief Cargo over here, who is a very nice minifigure. He came with a standard blaster pistol. I did not look through my blasters to find it, but it's okay. You know what it looks like, right? You've seen it in my other videos, obviously, so you should be able to know what it looks like. You can see he's got a very nice vest, along with, or it's not really a vest. It's more of like a robe, a kind of a robe. I'm not sure exactly what to call it, but it's some sort of vestment. You see he's got a nice face print, nice hair print, nice legs, well, yeah, he's got a decent back print. So it's just like 4 lines, but it works. I think that he's actually a pretty accurate representation of what we see in the show. It's a good Greek card minifigure. I just can't see myself using this for too much overall, but, it's a good one to have. So that's basically it for Grief Karga. No complaints on him. He's fine. And then for the main event, the main minifigures that you're getting with this set, you've got 3 stormtroopers, 2 main normal stormtroopers, and 1 artillery trooper. The artillery trooper, we'll start off with him. He's got some really awesome yellow markings. This is the first time we've ever seen an artillery trooper. He's obviously, as seen in The Mandalorian Season 1, there goes his cannon. He's got not a comma, he's got a shoulder, whatever that is, along with a backpack, which is actually basically the same thing as the original backpack that we saw in the Sand Troopers in the LEGO Star Wars Escape Pod set, which I might be doing a review of if I can restore it. But anyways, so you can see he's got the same helmet as the new Stormtrooper, which is unfortunate, but it's got the yellow markings along the bottom or underneath the mouth, and then a stripe going up the head. So I actually had a thought with this. You could use this to make a custom 327th. I think that's the Star Corps number. 327th Battalion, some clone troopers or stormtroopers or whatever. Like, he's basically just a 327th stormtrooper. So if you're willing to pay $80 for 2 of these, you can have that. And then you've got obviously it's got the yellow stripe going down the center of the chest, and it goes over the sort of little belt bit. It's got black waist and leg joint, and then the standard stormtrooper print with some yellow markings on it. So overall, I think that this mini... Oh, and he's got back printing that has some custom yellow markings on it, although you don't see that too much. Overall, I think he's good. I'm not a big fan of the new Stormtroopers in general, but I do think that they work for what they're trying to do, and I feel like that's... They do what they need to do, and it's good that they do that. But, anyways, you've got over here the other 2 Stormtroopers. They're both the new Stormtrooper molds, so they've got the helmets. Oh, and underneath, you can see here, that's some woman, and that's, I think, it's an African American person, which is great to see the representation finally happening instead of just the angry clone face under every trooper ever. Which, I mean, honestly, I didn't really care too much because obviously I'm not seeing their faces, but it's still nice to see that represented. I think those are the same faces we saw in the Snowtrooper Battle Pack. So, I mean, it's good on them for reusing that, but yeah. Overall, I mean, these are basically, if you look at like some of the more recent Stormtroopers without the updated helmets, it's basically the same chest and leg print. It's just the helmet is different. You can see it's dual molded. Honestly, I didn't think that Stormtrooper helmets needed to be updated. I'm not a big fan of these, but I think that I don't hate them as much as everyone else does. I'm not a big fan of them. I prefer the old ones, but I'm not like completely against these. I wish they would go back, but I know they're not going to, and I've accepted that, and so I've accepted these helmet molds. Overall, for the minifigures, I would probably give it a 2 out of 2. The only main flaw that I can see being that the stormtroopers have the weird helmets, and that I wouldn't use Grief Karga too much, but I'll still give it a 2 out of 2 on this Imperial Armored Marauder. And I feel like this is a good time to make this point, just because I give a set like an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. Like this set, if I were to give this set like a 2 out of 10, and then I gave like the ATST poly bag a 9 out of 10. That doesn't mean I like the ATST poly bag better than this set. It just means that I think that the ATST poly bag is like it does better in all the categories. That doesn't mean it's necessarily a better set. Like I don't not necessarily I like it more. So I just wanted to make a point of that, just to make that point. I feel like that's kind of an important thing to note. So that's it for the minifigures category. To finish up the minifigures category, sorry, I know I said it was over, but the artillery trooper has this kind of cannon, and the two stormtroopers have the standard blaster rifles for their weapons. On to the build itself. So this set is a phenomenal looking set. It embodies everything I want to see in an Imperial set perfectly. I think that the detailing on the top, even the small bit of the not slanted, well, I guess the slanted one, yeah, but the slatted 2x1 tiles just add even quite a bit. You can see there's an Imperial logo on a crate in there. On the back, this door, this blast door, I think is probably one of the best designed things we can see in the set. It obviously opens and closes, which we'll get to later in the playability. But I feel like this blast door, it just looks so good. And it flushes with this set so well. I'm in love with the door. I don't know what it is about doors. Same thing on the Boba Fett Palace. If a Boba Fett oh, well, not in the Boba Fett palaces, but if a door is good, that wins the set for me. So Lego Minecraft sets obviously are not going to win anything. Uh, but the build itself, it's very detailed. You can see a lot of dark gray. It's not a lot of light gray like you would expect from most Imperial stuff. But honestly, I think that works fine. This is a set that I think is not, in fact, based off Rebels. Well, obviously, it's based off The Mandalorian Season 1, but I believe that we did see this ship in Rebels. So that's pretty cool that we're seeing some stuff like the Light Cruiser and this set, and the Armored Marauder that are coming back. They were in Rebels and now they're in other stuff, and it's cool to see sets of those because obviously we never saw sets of them when they were in Rebels. So you can see it's got some blasters on top, or not blasters, stud shooters on top. It's got engines in the back. It's got over here. It's got some doors which open, but we'll get to that in playability. And you can see there's some slats here for. I actually never noticed these, but there's slats here for the stormtrooper that you can put inside here to look at. So overall, this is a very accurate set. I think it's very detailed. It's got cannons on the side. It's just the angles are right. The proportions are right. It's a great set. The design looks great. I would love to have like 3 or 4 of these in my collection if I could afford it, but it's just a great set overall. I think it's definitely a 2 out of 10 on design. But on to playability, whoo boy does this set have a lot to offer. So starting off at the front, we've got 2 stud shooters on either side, which are great. You can use them to shoot at Grief Karga or whoever you want them to be shooting at the moment. Mando, if you got him from another set. You got in here, you've got 1 seat, which you can sit in. I usually put in one of my stormtroopers and have like my snowtroopers in there or something whenever I'm messing with this. But you've got 1 seat in here, and if you put a minifigure in it, if you give me a second, I'll actually put a minifigure in it. But when you put a minifigure in it, it fits great. But if you've got it sitting back straight up and you close this and you look at it straight on, you can see the minifigure's eyes. They're positioned perfectly to be looking out, which I think is awesome. Especially you can see them through here and through here. I just think that is great design. I think that is phenomenal that Lego has done that, and it's just like it's awesome. I think that's just such a good detail that's in there. Honestly, even though it's not necessarily true in the actual model, like in actual Star Wars, but like it just looks awesome. You can see a little red light there. I guess it's an alert or something. But yes, you close that back up. Oh, obviously down here you've got a keypad of some sort. It's a pretty standard keypad if you've been following Lego Star Wars. or if you have any Lego Star Wars sets from like past like a year ago, you'll have seen this keypad quite a few times. Yeah, so moving back, well, let's go actually go up to the top. So right here, you've got a very small hatch. I think that this is to put in like spare studs for your stud shooters. All mine end up on a long stick, so I do not use that, but it is there if you want it. If not, it's just a nice bit of detail to have there. I think looks great. Moving on back here, you've got another hatch here, which with the standard hatch piece you've seen in so many sets. I think it was in like Haunted Mansion one. And you've got 2 seats in here, which you can access, which is really nice. Normally I stick my snow troopers in there or something, but obviously I can't fit all of them in there, so, you know. But still, I think that that's great. And then let's move back over to the front and to the sides. You've got 2 of these hatches. So I touched on them earlier, but that looked kind of wonky for a second. But you've got these 2 little, they're on, I'm not sure exactly what to call these, but they're on the ones that hold the angle, which is great. And then you've got 2 smaller ones that aren't on, that are just on a standard pole piece or whatever. They're on the, like these pieces you can see up here. They're like those, but in black. And this comes down basically at a 180-degree angle, but obviously you don't need that. And it does that on both sides. So you can have your stormtroopers walking in, you can have them going in or coming out. So the only thing with this is they're slightly too tall, so you do have to angle them, which is not too big a deal, but it is something to keep in mind. And obviously it'll open on both sides. They've got the same kind of door with the same design. They'll open on both sides, yeah. So that's about it. And then on the other sides here, you can see it's got the 2 cannons that are, you can actually, if I pull that off, it's on a rotating piece, and it's a really simple build. It's just a black joint piece with a black lightsaber hilt and a small brown staff piece in there, and then a dome piece on top of that. And it's pretty simple. You can move it from there to there. I'm not sure exactly what that would be. Probably like a 160-degree angle. It's pretty good for that. Maybe probably more like a 120-degree angle. It's a nice degree of rotation. And then you've got that on both sides. And the only thing that's kind of annoying about this is that it comes out sometimes when you don't want it to. But I think that that's fine. Over here, you've got the, it's basically just a little storage thing for some crates, which, if I can get it to come out, they do come out, in theory. Clearly not, oh, there we go. So it's a little bit annoying to get those out. So that's something to keep in mind for the playability. But it's a nice little detail. Obviously, you don't have to have them in there, but I think it looks better with it. It's got some Orbesh on it on one of the sides. I'm not sure exactly what that says. Maybe, I'm not sure. I don't know Orbesh too well, but I'll try to learn it. But yeah, it's just a crate with the Imperial logo and some of those, which is fine. I think that that's good. And then moving on to the back. So obviously this set has a ton of playability already, but adding more to it, obviously the door, the best part of the whole set by far. But then you've got this cannon, which spins at a very small degree of rotation, which is it's actually, I'm really sad you can't spin this all the way like you can in the show, but there is a simple fix to that, so if you'll give me a second. But you can see it's connected to a half cylinder clear piece, and it's got a chair inside, so you can set a minifigure in there if you want to sit a minifigure in there, and have him be piloting the cannon. And another thing with this is, similarly to the front, if you sit a minifigure in there and close this up, you can see its face through the slats. Sorry, that's a little bit dark, but you can see it there, which is pretty awesome. I think that that's great. And then the only problem with this is obviously that it can't rotate all the way. But as you can see, if I take this piece off of it, it rotates all the way. So how do you solve this problem? So what you do is you just take this tag piece. I'm not sure exactly what to call it, but it's the piece that they use in the Lego. What is it called? And like the keychains and stuff. And then you just stick this, you take it, you stick it back on there. It looks exactly the same, but now it spins all the way around. So that's how you solve that problem, which basically, I normally have mine like that. The only thing is then you can see in there, but like whatever, who looks in there anyway. But that fixes that problem. So counting that problem as fixed, I'm going to count it as fixed, even though it's not part of the actual design. You can do that easily yourself. So I'm going to count that as fixed. So basically the playability of this set is pretty much perfect. Also, it's got the nice rounded tile pieces, so you can do that. But yeah, so for playability, I would give this set a 2 out of 10. So right now, that's a 6 out of 6. For value, this set is pretty good with $40 at 478 pieces. Obviously, price per piece is not everything, but this set is incredibly designed, has great playability, great minifigures. It's just great for $40. Plus, you can get it for cheaper at like Walmart, if it's on sale in the, or in the what's it called when they're getting rid of it. Whatever that section is that a lot of Lego sets end up at Walmart. But like you can get it for cheaper even, which is it's just insane. You can get a great deal on this set. It's amazing. I'm surprised that Lego is not increasing the price on this unless it's already retired, and I don't know about that. But it's possible. It's possible it has. But if it hasn't, and Lego has just not increased the price on it, then like that's great. This is great. This is a great set with great value. 2 out of 2 on value. Unfortunately, I had to cut myself off here. I was about to say that this was a 10 out of 10 set, 2 out of 2 from my personal opinion, and then I remembered one thing. The reason that I wanted to make a review of this set in the first place. If I turn it to the side and angle it up, this piece stops it from being a 10 out of 10. This one piece. If that piece were dark gray, this set would be at a 10 out of 10. I guess that one there as well, but that one less so. I don't notice that one as much. This piece, I think it's a 1x6, 1x8 maybe? Yeah, 1x8 tan tile. It stops the set from being a 10 out of 10. Honestly. Like, come on, Lego. It's one piece. Literally a single piece. The fact that they couldn't go through the effort to literally change one piece in the set just infuriates me. It takes away from looking at it. I don't know if that's supposed to be accurate or not, but if that were dark gray, this would be a much cleaner set, in my opinion. So, I mean, that loses it for me. I would give it a 10 out of 10. This is a 9 out of 10. It's not perfect, unfortunately. I doubt any set will ever be perfect. And now I find myself cutting myself off yet again to say that I do recommend buying this set. Even though it's not perfect, it is a great value, great set. You will not regret buying it. So this is the real end of the video now. Actually, this is the end. Goodbye.